Taped from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
Co-host John Trumbull, happy Halloween, my friend.
Happy
Trick
Halloween.
or
Yeah,
treat.
this episode actually dropping on Halloween. So, yeah.
Trick or treat, smell my feet.
I'm not going to do that.
Give me... Oh, okay, well... Okay, well, I'm kind of into that. I thought my Craigslist ad specifically said into feet smelling. And...
Okay, this episode's already taken a really weird turn.
we got weird real quick.
No, not we. You. Oh. You, my friend.
Damn it. I was hoping to drag you down with me.
I was not on board with this weirdness. That is the entire problem. That is the issue.
Yes, and John, yes, and God, come on.
I'm not going to yes and a foot fetish. No. I will no but that all day long.
No buts.
So.
Oh, good times, guys. Good times. Happy Halloween, one and all. Hope you're all, staying safe, eating candy, dressing up as something weird and kinky out, calling it a costume.
Yeah. Weird and or kinky.
Yes, absolutely.
No judgment, unless it's the smell my feet thing, because that's just weird.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I mean, no one wants to.
I don't know. Foot fetish, it's a thing I have just never gotten. I'm just like, I don't get it at all.
I don't want to say I don't want to out myself. No, I don't really get it. I mean,
yeah,
you gotta, boobs and butts are great, but feet, it's, I got feet. I don't need to.
Yeah,
see that.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm sure Quentin Tarantino and Joss Whedon would want to sit me down and be like, no, you don't understand. And yes, you're correct. I do not understand. I do not want to understand. So,
wait, Joss Whedon has a foot thing too? I thought it was just.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
take a look at his movies, my friend.
All right, I'll go back. I mean,
Serenity, the first Avengers movie, women walking around bare feet all the live long day.
Oh, Pepper Potts is barefoot. Oh,
yeah. I mean, partly that's because I think she's like taller than Robert Downey Jr. or maybe like around the same height. That was like to put them at more comparable heights. Yeah, like Downey wears lifts in his shoes for certain of his Tony Stark scenes, apparently.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, okay. I get that you want to make the heights somewhat comparable because God forbid a woman is the same height or taller than her leading man. But yeah, the lingering close-ups on the feet, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Tarantino because he has that one scene in Kill Bill where it's literally just Uma Thurman's feet for almost a minute.
And I wouldn't say that she has particularly attractive feet.
No, they're...
I mean, I was looking at those and I'm like, are those supposed to be good-looking feet? Because I don't think they are.
I mean, I'm sure I'm sure somebody finds them.
Look, hey, there's a foot for every foot fetishist out there. I mean, and hey, God bless you if that's what you're into and you're not doing anybody any harm. But
God love,
and like weird to me.
It is, and I remember like in his last movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there's that scene where Margot Robbie puts her bare feet up. In the theater.
She puts her bare feet up on the seat in front of her in the movie theater, and I'm like, okay, am I supposed to not be rooting for Charles Manson to kill her now?
I mean, look, if
you do that at a movie theater, I kind of want Charles Manson to kill you.
I mean, I don't know if that's punishable by death, but it's definitely like, look, folks. Like, if you learn anything from this podcast, is don't put. People love.
Don't put your bare feet up on places if you're not at home.
Yeah, there's some people that love to be barefoot in places they shouldn't be. Like, I understand, like, the beach, the pool, that's fine. But
yeah,
like on an airplane, on the bus.
People do that on airplanes. I see, like, periodically on Twitter, you see a picture of somebody, like, and they've got their foot, like, resting beyond their seat. and it's so like the person on the seat in front of them has to look at that person's bare ass foot. It's just like, no, what
So
the?
you're
Ugh.
you're getting way too comfortable, my guy.
Yeah,
Like like
exactly.
like your feet need to breathe that much that you gotta like I
I don't need to be seeing anybody else's feet under pretty much any circumstances.
no.
Even when people are like walking around in sandals, I'm like, ugh, yeah, no, put that shit away.
Yeah. Have you no shame in your feet, sir?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that people should have shame about their bodies.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
all I'm asking is just more repression in the world.
That's that's why whenever I go to the beach, I dress up in a full trash bag, just cover everything from head to toe.
Yeah.
My body is my shame, and I don't
Yes.
need to expose anybody else to it. Like a
No.
normal person.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I wear two three-piece suits at all times. One on top of the other, just so that no part of my body is peeking out at any time. I mean, if I could like shield my head, I would do that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I when I walk around in a giant box, like
Yeah.
a crate, if you will, with
Mm,
just enough room for my feet to move, around to and fro, and
yeah.
some air holes, of course, because I'm not crazy.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
That's that's
I think we've displayed that well that neither one of us is crazy.
no, I don't. Yeah, no, I think we're both normal, sane people.
Absolutely. It's everybody else that's weirdos.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And
So
scene.
anyway, there's a show called Saturday Night Live. Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that
Do it.
thing.
This is the episode, let's see, episode 4 from season 48 from October 29th, 2022, with Jack Harlow as the host and the musical guest.
Yes.
Now, regular viewers of SNL, they might recall that Mr. Jack Harlow, he's been on the show once before.
Yes, he was a musical guest not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me look it up. I should have had that ready to go, but let's see when he was.
Ugh.
Yeah, let's see. Started his career in 2015. Okay, he was the musical guest on March 27th of last year.
Oh
That
wow.
was when Maya Rudolph was hosting. So,
Oh, that was super recent.
yep, very, very recent. I knew we had covered him before. I did not
Yeah.
go back and look at that episode to see what I thought of him back then. I'm thinking I was not a fan.
And did this episode change your opinion?
Still not really a fan. Uh,
Fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I'll show my hand a little bit. Yeah, like I as a host, I thought he was serviceable, but he seemed to be pretty low energy and not really didn't have like the dynamic charisma I try to look for in a host.
yeah. I just uh, he didn't really grab me. He's either the host or the musical guest, and we'll talk about that as we go. I guess he just made a lot of friends when he was there before, because I still think he's just an odd choice for a host, because I don't know if he's that huge musically. And
I think he has his fan base. Like it seemed like a
okay,
lot of he has a bunch of Harlow heads or whatever they're called, like in the audience, just screaming at him
right,
just at the
but
sight of him.
he's not like Taylor Swiftian level,
No, Lord no. Who
right?
is?
I mean, well, who is honestly?
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, but he has a good amount of fans and he is well known. He's a this white rapper from Kentucky, which is something. So he
it's
and
a
I
combo
mean
you don't see or hear a lot of.
no, not at all. I think music is banned in Kentucky, so I don't even know how he got
Yeah,
to
I
be the
think
rapper
that's
he is.
the no dancing tone from Footloose. I'm pretty sure that was in Kentucky.
Pretty much, that's right. I think like John Lithgow is the head of that town, if I'm not
Hmm. Hmm.
mistaken. But yeah, but like he has a following, so like I get that SNL wanted to make him a host just to maybe siphon off some of that youthful audience that he has a hold on. But I mean, as far as a guest in the musical
That makes
host,
it sound like it's an invasion of the body snatchers program. Siphon off the audience he has a hold on. It sounds like he's holding them prisoner.
Maybe he is with his
Maybe
music.
he is. We don't know what he does in his personal life. And again, no judgment.
Yeah, we. It's right. You do you, Harlow. But yeah, I mean, oh yeah, I think I feel the same way you do. Overall, I thought as a host he was serviceable, but not really. It didn't wow me.
I don't know. I think even calling him a serviceable host, I think, is
Mm,
overpraising him. But we'll see. Okay, so
was trying to be nice.
yeah, yeah. I'm not about nice today.
I'm not here to make friends.
I'm not here to make friends.
That's right. I'm here to dish out the real.
That's right. Keeping it real, son.
Nah, I mean,
So, all right. Should we dive in? Do the cold open?
let's do it.
Okay. So we start out with the PBS NewsHour Republican Momentum cold open with Heidi as the host, the PBS host, whose name I didn't write down. Apparently, she's playing a real person, though, as folks are
Yeah,
wont to do on this show when they're
okay.
playing newscasters.
All right, far out. And yeah,
And
um, I mean, it's basically saying like election season is upon us,
yep,
and
midterms
we
coming
have
up.
yeah. So we have some Republican nominees that are running for office, and we get to
Insane Republican nominees who are apparently at least neck and neck with their more sane, sensible Democratic opponents.
because that's the world we live in now.
That's the world we live in, where people are they just say gibberish, and voters are like, I like the cut of this guy's jib. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
he makes no fucking sense, and he wants to take away elections. Oh, well, I still like him. At least he's not a liberal. Uh,
yeah. I think they even mentioned that like none of the three candidates that they're parodying, like in real life, none of them have any political experience whatsoever.
True. Yes. Yeah.
So
And
this is,
it's
whew.
we have Keenan playing Herschel Walker, who's running for office in Georgia. Mikey Day playing Dr. Oz, who's running in Pennsylvania. And Cecily as Carrie Lane, who I'm not really familiar with, but she's running for office in Arizona.
Kerry Lake.
Carrie
Uh,
Lake. Oh, autocorrect screwed me up there. Okay.
okay. But yeah, according to what they said in the sketch, she was a local news anchor, and she was a Democrat for a number of years. But I guess now she's gone to flipping and doing this now because it's maybe an easier way to. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
What?
but
But anyway, we're bearing the lead a bit here. Cecily Strong's back on the show. She's playing Carrie Lake, making her return to SNL after missing the first three shows of the season. She was out in LA doing the search for signs of intelligent life in the universe,
yay! Pa 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 pa
and
pa.
and apparently that went well for her. But it's nice to have her back, and I think the show really missed her too because they used her a lot this episode.
Yeah, she was really in a good chunk of sketches in
She
this
was all
episode.
over the place. I mean, I think
Hmm.
she is pretty undeniably the star or one of the stars of the show at this point.
Yeah, like I mean, at this point, you can't deny that she is like no pun intended, a strong performer, and she's
Yep.
one of the stalwarts of SNL.
Hmm.
I don't know if I used that word right, but I feel like I did.
I feel like it was at least in the range of right. So
Perfect.
it was right ish, which is really all that anyone can expect these days.
That's right. Perfect. I'm ready to be a Republican candidate.
There you go. There you go. You say things that are vaguely correct once in a while.
Yeah. So basically, this cold open is pretty straightforward meat and potatoes. It's Keenan doing his Herschel Walker impression, garbling his words, saying nonsense. Of Mikey Day as Dr. Oz,
Hmm.
and like you said, Cecily Strong as Carrie Lake, saying things that like Arizonans are they want to focus on the important things of the world, like crime in New York and crime in Detroit.
Hmm.
At one point,
I like how they referred to Arizona as the Florida of the West. I thought that summed it up nicely.
it's a very, very smart line. I like that.
And I liked how she had like the soft focus, and they said she's lit like a '90s Cinemax hardcore movie.
Oh,
Uh,
indeed. You know.
which, yeah, they were going nuts on the soft focus, and I guess that's the thing with Carrie Lake. I haven't kept up with the news enough in the last couple of weeks to really know what her deal is.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold on to my sanity. I have not looked into the news
Yeah,
that
exactly.
much.
I mean, I already know more about Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz than I ever want to. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you. So yeah, so what are your thoughts on the cold open?
I thought it was okay. I felt like they went with a couple like jokes that didn't really go anywhere, or they didn't really work. Like Keenan at one point, he had Herschel Walker do that really old joke about the thermos of like, how does it know to whether to keep my drink hot or cold? And I'm like, really? You're putting that in your cold open? Because
Yeah,
it's such an old joke. I mean, that just I could see putting that in the script as a placeholder, but you circle back and you write something better. Um, my basic feeling on this was like it skipped around too much. It was just like, oh, okay, well, we do a joke about Herschel being stupid. Now we do a joke about Dr. Oz being stupid. Now we do a joke about Carrie Lake being stupid. And it just, I don't know. It didn't really send me.
yeah, I'm the same way. Like I thought it was okay, but it's the same thing. The jokes weren't as strong as weren't as strong as they should have been.
Yeah.
They kind of lacked the bite they needed to really
Yeah.
have the impact. Like you could even hear it, like the audience was like, "Oh, okay, ha ha ha." Like the audience was sort of
Yeah.
into it, but they were kind of not. Like I noticed, like when they introduced Cecily Strong as Carrie Lake, I thought there would be like a huge thing of applause because this is Cecily Strong coming back after missing a couple shows, but like no,
Yeah.
there wasn't anything like that. There was
No,
that
yeah, that was
silence.
weird. That was weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
she deserved a good welcome back applause break.
absolutely.
We were applauding you at home, Cecily.
I was standing and applauding.
Yep.
I did my part.
Yep.
Uh,
So
but yeah, I didn't take too many notes on this cold open because, like, honestly, I thought it was like,
yeah,
eh, that's
I think the Carrie Lake stuff was the strongest
yes,
in the sketch. I feel like they could have gone a little harder at both uh, Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz because they're both nuts. But
yeah. I feel like they should have gone a little bit, like, had a little bit more edge to it, but it was
yeah,
more like, oh, dopey, dopey, we're dopey dumb people type of. They went a little too. They were throwing softballs at them. I wanted
yeah,
fast. I wanted
yeah,
fastballs.
yeah, and it's just. Yeah, I wish it had more of a take of less like, oh, these Republicans are gaining momentum and they're neck and neck, and I wish it went a little harder where it was just a little more like, why are these people still doing so well? Are you fucking insane?
Yes,
I just wish it went a little more rational, I guess.
that's actually a better cold open. What you just said now.
Yeah,
Just Heidi looking into the camera. Are you all fucking insane? What's wrong with you people? Stop voting for them. And
yeah,
live
yeah.
from New York, it's Saturday.
It was also weird. Something that really struck me was because it's become such a thing that they do a big group live from New York, and Heidi just did this one by herself, and
Yeah,
that's really more the exception than the rule now. I found it really striking. I was like,
yeah, yeah.
wow,
No,
I
no,
can't I
yeah,
can't think of the last time we had just one person saying live from New York, and that used to be the norm.
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, when it was just her. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't. This is like a
Yeah.
throwback. I haven't seen this in a minute.
Yeah, I've gotten very used to, after a cold open, everybody gets together in a big group and they all go, "Alive in New York is every night."
Yeah,
And yeah, well, it's nice when they vary it up. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like
absolutely.
to see a little more of the single person live from New York because I'm sure that's a little more special for the person too.
Yeah, no, here, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, we had this intro. We had Cecily finally added into the intro for the season. She wasn't able to shoot it with the rest of the cast because, again, she was out west
It's
doing
busy,
her one woman show.
busy doing things, big things.
What do we think of her little segment?
Not bad.
Fun to
Like
see
she
her.
was on a couch with like a big red feather.
Yeah,
I
she
dig
was
it.
like fanning herself. I was just very surprised that her dog wasn't in there somewhere because she usually does work her dog in somewhere.
That is true. Yeah, I did miss the doggy.
Was
Oh,
she like, okay, Bowen's got the dog thing covered for this? I don't
uh,
need to do this. Is
I don't want to look like a copycat. We already have a dog.
I don't know. I don't know. But that just
Mm.
seemed like a thing of hers. Like we usually see her with her dog in some fashion. I think in the last intro she even had like a dog pin or something like that.
Oh,
I think I read some interview with her where she was saying like, "Oh yeah, they were. I wasn't able to bring my dog in because of COVID, but they props worked up a little dog pin for me,
oh,
so there
okay.
was still dog representation."
Yes, dog representation matters.
It does. It does. Dog lives matter.
Ooh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Yeah. So monologue happened.
a monologue happened.
A
Yes. Our
monologue
host,
happened.
our host Jack Harlow came out and technically gave what was a monologue. I guess. He
Yeah.
really seemed to have nothing to say.
Yeah. He came out, wearing his Big Brother's coat, and he basically. Did you notice that, like, how the coat he was wearing, like, seemed like super oversized?
Yeah, it wasn't like David Byrne oversized, but it was oversized.
Yeah. And but yeah, like it is weird because, like, with the monologue, the host is supposed to set the tone, introduce himself to the audience, to people who may not know him,
Yeah,
and, like, really give the vibe of, like, what they're about, and get the audience excited. And I don't know if he
I
did
didn't
that.
really get any of that. I He just came out and he told a few jokes of like what people are saying he looks like on the internet because he looks sort of like just some rando, and I don't know.
Mm.
I find it kind of hard to like Jack Harlow. He gives off this douchey vibe.
Ooh.
You know?
Um.
Do you
I
get
Yeah.
this?
I see. That's the thing. I don't know if he was being douchey or he was, like, legit just nervous. So, like, he seemed very,
We
like,
could give him
low.
the benefit of the doubt and say he's nervous. Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like okay, I assume you saw the promo that he did with Cecily this week,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
super douchey in that.
Oh boy. Like,
You know, where he's like, "Oh, the queen is back, and just in time for the prince," and so he's like sort of low key hitting on her. Well, maybe not even low key, but
yeah.
I don't know. He just comes off real douchey to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, it's one of those things where, like, people are some who are sometimes nervous and awkward. They try to be, or they try to present themselves as, like, confident and say slick stuff, but it
Yeah.
comes across as douchey. But they're not trying to. They're not douchey. They're just super awkward and don't know how to
Okay.
talk to
Yeah,
people.
that's fair. Maybe he's overcompensating for nervousness with false bravado because not a trained actor or anything like that.
No,
So yeah,
not at
they
all.
they are kind of outside their comfort zone. All right, you're
Yeah,
you're being more generous than I am.
I'm trying. I also like the part where he mentions how he just finished shooting a remake for White Men Can't Jump, which sounds like a joke, but it's not. They're doing a remake of White Men Can't Jump, and he's the lead in it.
Who's the other person?
I don't think they said, but, like, I remember seeing online that they were doing a White Men Can't Jump reboot. But, like, when
Okay.
he said it, it sounded like a joke. Like, oh, aha, that's funny.
Yeah, I heard that and I was like, is that a real thing? I have no idea.
That is a real thing.
Okay. All right. Well,
Um,
wish him the best. I guess I would assume he's in the Woody Harrelson part, or
yeah, he's the white man who cannot jump.
okay. Well, spoilers.
Oh, sorry, damn it. Oh man, sorry, sorry, all you
Um,
diehards out there. Sorry.
yeah.
But
So,
yeah, and then,
so
but yeah,
towards the end of the monologue, he steps out into the audience to talk to
hmm
the audience a little bit. He's not talking to an audience plan. He's talking to like a real audience person, and he gets a woman's name. He says like, "Oh, what's your name?" She says, "Michaela." He says, "Like, everybody give Michaela a hand." And Michaela claps for herself, which I think that's kind of cocky, you
let's
know.
hear it for
Like,
me.
yeah, let other people clap for you, Michaela. Um, and then he goes, "Anything you want to say with the whole world watching?" And she just says, "Huge Jack Harlow fan."
And then he's like,
And then I
oh
guess
yeah,
it looks like she had a little more to say after that, but he like takes the mic away, so we have no idea. Um,
yeah. It I I don't know. Like, I felt like he should have said something like, "Oh, that's fantastic," or, like, he should have made a joke out of it, or there should have been. It didn't seem like there were any jokes really there in that
it
little.
was it was just a whole lot of nothing. It was like, well, why did you go into the audience and talk to that woman? And I realized she was on the spot, but she didn't have anything in particular to say. He didn't have anything in particular to say to her
Yeah,
or do with her. So I'm just like, well, why did we even do this?
yeah. I mean, does anybody have anything to say? Like,
Yeah, I don't.
it felt really awkward.
monologue was just a whole lot of nothing, I thought.
Yeah, I'd agree. It felt kind of flat, and it's just like, all right, what's
Yeah.
some like at, I as much as I don't like it when cast members come out to help out the host sometimes, like I felt like a cast member needed to come out at this point and help out
We
the host.
really needed something here. Yeah, he needed somebody to play off of because I mean, Michaela, she's just clapping for herself. She's not giving him anything.
Yeah, it really felt like all right, like it felt like he didn't know what to say, and he was just kind of he's making his jokes about him and having a relationship with Lil Nas X. I was like, all right, but
Yeah,
hmm.
I mean, that I just have to shrug and be like, oh, okay, I guess that is the thing that people are saying, and I
Yeah,
don't even know enough about him to know if that was a real thing or not.
yeah,
So
like I don't know, he really should have like kind of, told him talked more about himself and a little bit more. Like again, like I don't know if it was because he was just genuinely awkward or genuinely didn't know what to say, or maybe that's just his general demeanor. He's just like usually kind of soft spoken and kind of tries to play it too cool for the room. But either way, it felt like kind of awkward.
yeah, yeah. All right.
All
So
right, so and off to the races we go.
yeah, not a great start. So next we have our first sketch, Joker Wedding, which is Heidi and Jack Harlow playing a bride and groom, and his best man, Andrew Dismukes, is come to the wedding dressed as the Joker because it's the day before Halloween.
No, he's dressed as the Joker
Yeah,
because like I think this wedding takes place because I saw the exterior. It said like Lexington, so I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be.
yeah, it's Kentucky.
So yeah, so everybody has a Southern accent,
Hmm.
and I guess in the South they say Joker, Joker, because
Yeah, the entire sketch was just built around saying the word Joker in a Southern accent.
yeah,
Uh,
like oh I thought we having this wedding around Halloween. I thought I was going to dress as the Joker. I thought you like me dressed as the Joker. You don't like me dressed as the Joker? It's Joker. That's literally like the first. That's like literally the first 2 minutes of the sketch. That's it ending in Joker. It's hmm.
yeah,
Are you there? Did you leave? What happened?
I'm here. I was getting like a Zoom call for some reason. I don't know
Okay.
why, and I hope they don't try calling me again. I have no idea who that person was.
Oh
But
boy.
hey, thanks for screwing up the recording.
Oh, son of a bitch.
um,
It's Jack
sorry,
Harlow. Yeah.
just distracted me for a second.
All right. Yeah. No
Um,
worries. It's okay.
and
Uh.
then towards the end of the sketch, we have a gratuitous Jeff Probst cameo. Jeff Probst, the host from Survivor. So this would have been really exciting in like 2003.
mm,
Uh,
Yeah. That was so random.
so random. I mean, I guess SNL is really bad. I guess the pandemic is really over if SNL is bringing in like lots of gratuitous cameos again.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I mean, like at the beginning of the sketch, you think it's going to be about the Jack Harlow's best man dressed as the Joker. And then they decide because the bride doesn't like him dressed as the Joker, they decide to cut to the audience, the people in attendance at the wedding, to see what they think about it, like is if he should leave or stay dressed as the
yeah,
Joker. So then then it turns into like a reality show where the family decides if they should like he should be voted off the wedding or if he should stay. And then
yeah.
so we have Chloe saying he should stay, no, he should leave, as the Joker. Then we have Mikey Day saying he should stay as the Joker.
There's no point in going and rehashing a sketch bit by bit because there wasn't much to this sketch. It was just built around going Joker in a Southern accent, and that was it.
Yeah, and then of course, like you said, at the end they have Jeff Probst saying he could stay as the Joker, and then he extinguishes the torch that Heidi Gardner is now carrying. And
Yeah,
I,
this
hmm.
this was dire. I thought I have no idea why the show opened with this. I couldn't bring myself to rewatch it this morning.
Yeah, I mean this is a 10-1 sketch. This like should have been.
At best, I mean, ideally, it's a cut for time sketch or a killed it read through sketch, but.
Yeah.
Somehow it made it to the aired show, and it it was leading off the show. I so don't get it.
Yeah, like, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but I really feel like the 10-to-1 sketch that we ended up with should have been in the place where this sketch was, and the place that this sketch was should have been the 10-to-1 sketch. I feel like it got swapped around. Like, I'm just basing that on my gut. I don't have any knowledge, but I feel like
Okay,
because
I'm
the
not entirely sure. Okay, was the 10-to-1 sketch something that revived an old sketch?
no, it was, we'll say it. It was the View sketch.
Oh no, I don't think that should have been up at the top of the show.
Yeah, but I feel like that View sketch felt like it belonged earlier in the show more. I didn't say it was great, but like, oh, tip of my hat here. But like, it felt like that didn't feel like a 10-to-1 sketch. This felt like a 10-to-1 sketch. It was just so
Yeah.
weird.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, and but yeah, overall, I mean, this sketch, yeah, it was very odd choice to start off the show.
Hmm.
Yeah, it basically it kind of has that repetition thing,
Yeah.
almost like the oh man, I'm all out of cash, almost like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just
it's
ugh.
definitely yeah, like I feel like the premise for this was like super thin.
Non-existent.
Ooh, yes, but yeah, this like so far I'm like, oh, we're not starting off with our best here so far.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they could have elevated it with like more people in more outrageous costumes, and then it could have built into something. But no, it was just the one guy dressed as the Joker, and I guess the whole gag was saying Joker in a Kentucky accent, which I don't
Yeah,
think is particularly funny.
yeah, that's the thing that yeah, most of the sketch does. Actually, I won't say most. All of the sketch does hinge on that. If you
Yeah.
think saying Joker is funny, then this sketch is for you. If you don't
Yeah.
think Joker is funny, then
Then it's an interminable 5.5 minutes.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
So,
and therein lies the problem.
yep. So, all
So
right,
yeah,
moving on.
moving on.
Moving on, we have our first pre-tape of the night, Skechers commercial, or as they build it on the show, a message from Skechers, and they're just talking about how they're not doing business with Kanye West anymore because Kanye West he got into a little bit of hot water
Oh, he did.
recently. Said some things.
Said some things. Things were said.
Things were said. Some jobs were lost.
Mm,
Then
just a
he
few.
apparently went into the Skechers corporate offices and he was like, "Hey, can I do something with you guys? Because I've been fired from Adidas." And Skechers is like, "No, we're good."
That's okay. Security.
Um, but they say, and they talk about how they're against anti-Semitism in all its forms and blah 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 blah. And they're like, but still, it's kind of cool that Kanye came to us first, right?
Yeah, like that's
um,
basically the twist. Where like, oh, did that
yeah,
make us cool now that we turned away Kanye West?
yeah,
And I think at one point like Punky Johnson's in it, and
yeah,
who's an employee at Skechers, and he says, yeah, the higher ups were like, we can't work with Kanye. He's crazy now, and I'm like, now.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's just, yeah, we're just becoming more aware of the crazy. I mean, come on, he has been crazy for quite some time,
Right,
since like the
exactly.
Bush administration.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, um,
Yeah, and like basically they also take kind of shots at themselves. I think Cecily says
mhm.
at one point like how proud she is to work at Skechers, and she's like, "When's the last time I said that?"
Yeah, I know. I liked the little characterization, little asides that they had. I like this. I thought it was a cool offbeat take on it, and I thought this was funny. This might have been sketch of the night for me.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't mind this one at all. Like again,
Yeah.
I like the jabs that Skechers took at themselves, talking about how
Hmm.
they're the sneaker company that invented shoes you can wash in a washing machine.
Yeah.
And I think they also mentions like, yeah, we don't stand for that, but it is interesting how you haven't heard anything from Crocs. Crocs hasn't said
Yeah,
anything.
I liked how Bowen played that. He was like, hey, I'm not saying Crocs is anti-Semitic, but I just think it's interesting that we haven't heard from them for a few days.
Yeah, and I also the way it ended I thought was quick too because then it cuts to James Austin Johnson as Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, and he's
Yeah.
talking about how he's happy that they are starting to have a partnership with Kanye West. And then it ended with the My Pillow logo saying "Skechers trash is My Pillow's treasure," which is
Yeah, I don't know if the ending was as strong as the rest of the sketch. I don't know if I needed the My Pillow stuff at the end, uh,
mm,
but it was a way to end it. I think I would have been fine with just the Sketcher stuff by itself.
yeah, that's fair enough.
It didn't wreck the sketch for me or anything.
Okay.
I liked at the end just going, we might mess up in the future, but we didn't this time, and they're like just sort of patting themselves on the back. Um, yeah, I like the idea of like, hey, let's have a little recognition for how cool this makes us look. And honestly, this was the very first time that I realized that Skechers is not spelled with a T. It is Skechers. I was like, I had no idea until you
Because
mentioned that.
you think it's like sketch comedy, Sketch, but
Yeah, or sketching like drawing or something. I was just like, oh, okay. I guess they left the T out because they can trademark it the other way. All right.
yeah, wow, we all learned
We
something
all
from this
learned a
sketch.
little something, and it entertained and educated, and
Made
what
made
more can you ask for?
made you laugh and think.
Exactly.
hmm But yeah, overall, not a bad sketch. I thought this was okay.
Overall, I think probably my favorite of the night.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Next up, we got the post Halloween red carpet special.
Yes, live from the sidewalks of New York City at 2:53 a.m. on Halloween night. We had Cecily and Mikey as hosts, like they're at an awards ceremony where they're at different areas of the red carpet, and they're just talking to various passerbys who the the dregs of humanity that you see at 3 a.m. on Halloween night. There's
Dregs of human. Yes.
there's
Yeah.
there's
Uh.
a drunk guy in an inflatable dinosaur costume. Chloe as a wasted white girl who can't find her Uber. Uh,
Yeah, and it basically goes through all the tropes of people you see in Halloween costumes. Like what the guy who has a costume that is upset that no one gets it. That's like so
yeah,
intricate, and it had Devin Walker, the new guy in a tuxedo with a black hand across his face, and he's supposed to be Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith.
yeah.
It's yeah, yeah. No one got that.
I mean,
Uh,
I got it. I got it.
I
I don't
got
think it's
it.
that great, but I got it.
Yeah. We had Molly as a drunk Dory explorer,
Hmm.
guy in a group costume who lost the rest of his group. Uh,
Yeah, that was Bowen, who is the cop from the Village People, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't find the other guys, and now everyone thinks I'm a real cop." And yeah, Jack
yeah,
Harlow was a frat guy dressed as a giant tampon. Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Marcelo was a guy who really wants you to ask about his costume, and
yeah,
he has a T-shirt that says he's the scariest thing in the world, and on
the
the back,
patriarchy.
yeah, get it? Want to make out?
Yeah, yeah, and Cecily is like, "Well, I'm guessing you thought this was going to get you laid," and she's like, "Has it?" And he says, "No, but the night is young." And she just goes, "Hard pass."
Yeah.
That was cute, and I like towards the end we had James Austin Johnson as a sober middle aged man just trying to walk his dog,
People live here. Go home.
and then we had Keenan as like the father who took his child out last minute, like at 3 in the morning because
Yeah,
his ex wife dumped him on him. So yeah,
yeah, and a child dressed as a Chipotle bag.
yeah. This was okay. I didn't think it was great. I think the performances elevated it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was mostly I felt like they were just kind of just bringing out tropes of Halloween costume, but didn't have too many jokes or like strong enough jokes to sort of go with it to carry it out. It's like, oh yeah, and we have this guy who you see at Halloween every year, and this person you see at Halloween every year,
Yeah,
and this person. It was just like kind of rapid fire tropes of Halloween costumes, but not the jokes in between that I thought weren't super strong.
I think it was decent, but it didn't really rise above that. It was fine. It passed the time agreeably.
Yes. Yeah, I'll go with that. Pass the
Yeah.
time agreeably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, AA meeting.
AA meeting. This is Jack Harlow and a group of folks at a 12-step meeting, and the the group leader Bowen asks Jack to speak because he's been attending for a while, hasn't spoken yet, and then he starts pitching a Pixar movie about talking luggage.
Yeah. Um,
Weird turn.
weird turn. I will give it that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like basically he's talking about the person running the AA groups. Like, we'd like you to share, and he says, "Okay, I'll share. I have a great idea for a Pixar movie. It's about this lost suitcase at an airport who's looking for his family, and then of course, as everybody else in the group tries to maybe talk about their alcohol addiction, they all get sucked into wanting to know more about it.
Yeah,
He has some mocked up artwork he just pulled out of nowhere.
yeah.
Uh,
Their zippers are mouths.
yeah, and
I liked how everyone else in the group got immediately caught up in it.
right,
That was kind of cool. And I didn't really notice this until like the second time I watched the sketch was when he's in the middle of this whole spiel about this whole big movie pitch, and he's like, "Oh, and maybe we can have this character who does this thing." He just says as an aside, "I drank recently, by the way." And
I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was
that was
funny.
hilarious. I will say Jack Harlow threw that line away beautifully. That was wonderful. That was his moment of the night.
Yes,
Um,
that was
that was
good.
great, and that was one of the funniest moments of the sketch. I also liked Cicely as the froggy voiced lady in the Garfield shirt, who is just like, "What about the song? What's the big song?" And then, of course, everyone starts singing the song.
Yeah, like somebody wheels out a keyboard in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then then everybody gets into the idea of this Pixar movie he has, and then
hmm
they're like, well, like, who do we get to play the lead? Who do we get to play? Who's going to be
yeah,
the Woody of this
yeah.
Pixar movie? And
But wait, you're skipping over when they do the song. They did, and SNL loves this gag. Is they like somebody starting a random song and then everybody just joins in perfectly.
oh, right,
They like that, and so they all start singing the song "Pack Yourself with Love."
yeah, they all know the words immediately to this song this person just made up on the spot just now.
Exactly, exactly. Which I always like that. That was cute. And then they're saying, yeah, who's the lead? Who's the Woody?
Walking through the door, America's dad himself,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks.
did
Tom Hanks.
did not see this coming.
Gratuitous Tom Hanks cameo. I guess he lives in the city.
Tom Hanks lives within all of us. He lives here. He lives.
That's true. They're just the Tom Hanks in everybody's heart just emerged. They were like, who could we have be in the sketch? And it was this point I realized, okay, we've got some ringers on the show.
Yeah,
I think the show maybe didn't have a whole lot of confidence in Jack Harlow as a host, so I was like, let's get some ringers in here.
yeah, I kind of felt that way too. Like, I mean, as we'll go on, we'll talk more about it. But yeah, part of me feels like the show is like, I don't know about this. Let's pad this show a little bit with some more established folks. And
Yeah, it felt
yeah,
like a very conscious choice. They were like,
yeah,
okay, he's not the strongest. He needs some help. Let's just bask in the Tom Hanks love for a few minutes
yeah.
until getting back.
I think it's very interesting that like people are still talking about this episode, but it's not because of the host. It's because,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Tom Hanks comes on. He gets like a 30-second applause break. I didn't time it. I'm just guesstimating, but
right.
yeah.
Uh,
And I mean, Tom Hanks, of course, plays his part beautifully because he's freaking Tom Hanks.
yeah, I think they asked him like for a catchphrase for a luggage trying to find his family, and he
Hmm.
comes up with, "Oh, that really snags my zipper." They
Yeah.
love it. They all sing the song that Cecily just created. We see these
Hmm.
suitcase puppets come out of
Yeah.
nowhere in the front, which I gotta
Yeah,
kick.
I kind of wish they didn't pull back to show the people working the suitcase puppets. I think it would have been funnier if they didn't break the reality at the end of the sketch. But
Yeah, that's true. But I like seeing the puppets come out of nowhere. It kind of reminded me of something from the state or something.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I think that's funny enough itself. I really didn't need to see the people working the puppets.
Right. But yeah, overall, I like this sketch. Like, I was a little worried about it in the beginning, but as it went on, and the absurdity kind of took over. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
And of course, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a puppet. I love. It's the only reason I watched Wayland Flowers and Madam. I love a good puppet. So like when the puppets came out at the end, I was like, all right, I like this sketch.
yeah. This was a decent sketch. I enjoyed the. I enjoyed the bizarre turn. I liked the surrealness of it. I liked that they made all the people in the AA meeting look as bizarre as possible. Like Keenan had this weirdly shaped afro, and Cecily's look was just magnificent. You know,
Yeah,
she
she
had
had like
this curly wig and the Garfield shirt, and yeah,
yeah, she had like this big frizzy hair. It was
yeah,
uh, it was
and
a
and
choice.
and she was just this very froggy voiced woman. I mean, it was great character work in there. So
No, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, not a bad sketch. Not
yeah.
opposed to it.
So next we have another pre-tape, a horror movie trailer. This is just a bunch of Democrats becoming terrified that Biden is going to run again for 2024, and he's too old and he's not the ideal candidate. So
Yeah. Basically, it's played like a horror movie. Them realizing that the elections are on their way, and Biden is saying he's going to he's going to run again in 2024, which scares everybody because in 2024 he'll be 81 years old.
hmm
So they try to think who they do. The Democrats have anybody that could beat him? And then, of course, this, that I will admit that like Chloe did some good acting here, where people say, "Well, what about Cory Booker?" It's like he's too corny, and then say, "Well, what about Mayor Pete?" And then he like slaps Bo, and she's like, "Do you hear yourself?"
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, and then of course it becomes all the horror movie tropes, like there's blood on the walls, but it reads Bernie. Uh,
yeah,
there's a Beto 2024 flyer that slipped through somebody's door. Everybody screams in terror, and I think at one point, Mikey Day seems to be possessed by some devil saying, or some demon saying, like, "Oh, I know a good somebody who could run," and Hillary, and of course his eyes are black, and
yeah,
he chants, I'm with her," and whew, yeah, it's a lot.
yeah. I liked Bernie's name appearing in blood on the walls. Got to say, as a Democrat, it bugged me a little bit that Elizabeth Warren's name wasn't even mentioned as a viable
Mm.
candidate, but okay. Um,
Yeah, remember we were all about her back in a couple years ago, and now not a peep. Mm,
it's I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
don't get me started. I mean,
I
I look if she runs again, I will support her again because
agreed.
yeah, I mean, I thought I'm going to go on a tangent here, but I thought she was great because every time somebody asked her, she was like, we should do X, Y, Z, and they'd be like, well, how should we do that? She's like, well, I have a plan for that. We should do this and this and this and this, and she would get specific. She doesn't just utter vague platitudes. She's on top of shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird how people kind of saw that, and like maybe they saw like the Tracy Flick in her as like, oh, she's prepared and she knows what to
Yeah,
do. Ugh, what a nerd.
I don't understand why so many people find competence unappealing in politics. It just boggles my mind. I was like, I want the president to be smarter than me. I want the president to be more on top of shit than me. I want
Yes,
I want the president to be on top of all this shit so I don't have to worry about it.
this shouldn't be a controversial take. If my car breaks down, I want to take it to somebody who's worked on cars before. Why is
Exactly.
like I don't want to I don't want to take it to somebody who's like who's never worked on a car, but likes to work from his gut.
Yeah, and who's been talking for 10, 20 years about how no mechanic knows what they're doing and how they'll go in and instantly be better than any other mechanic
Yeah,
just
exactly.
through magic, I guess. I don't I,
Like, have you been putting your gas in the gas tank? That's not where. That's what Big Auto wants you to do. You should put your gas
yeah,
in the exhaust pipe because that's.
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
then stick it up your asshole.
Yeah.
I mean
Keep firing, assholes.
uh, yeah. So I mean, I thought this was cute. It was all right, and it was showing what I think is a bit of a genuine concern for Democrats right now, because it's like, well, is lovable Grandpa going to run again? Is he everything that we want him to be? And they did point out, oh well, Biden's done a lot of good, and
Yes.
and then like Mikey just goes, but he fell off his bike that one time.
Yeah, and that's the only thing people remember. Yeah, I mean, I did like this sketch, but I think I feel the same way you do. Like, it's a little too real, and I couldn't
Yeah,
like laugh at it fully because it does kind of play on a lot of the fears I have for the upcoming election.
yeah.
I've
I may
tried not to
find
think
this
of it.
funnier in retrospect. Let me see how the midterms go. Then I'll see how
Yeah,
funny I find this sketch. Well, and also it's a little disingenuous for the show to like make fun of people, with but he fell off his bike that one time when like you still get so many jokes and update about how like about Biden not being all there, and
yeah,
I feel like those are largely unfounded too. But
yeah. I mean, I think they do that to sort of be maybe bipartisan, where they're like, "Oh, we
yeah,
make fun of Republicans and Democrats the same."
yeah,
But
I guess they're trying to both sides. It still bugs me because it's just like, well, it's cool to make fun of him. Make fun of him for real shit, though.
yeah,
Don't make fun of him for Republican talking points.
here, here.
Anyway, okay. I went on more of a rant than I intended to, but
Now I'm just
whatever.
going off on a rant here, cha cha.
Yeah, still got a little residual Dennis Miller from last week's Bordello of Blood marathon.
Yeah, that movie was more crazier than a Carpathian gulag in Transylvania.
All right,
Next up, bartenders.
bartenders. Bowen and Jack Harlow is bartenders who. What was the point of this? I didn't get this. Explain the sketch to me, Darren.
I
I'm at a loss.
I look
What was this?
I
What
agree with
was this? Seriously.
I agree with you. It's just hit you just said what we're all thinking. Uh so yeah, so basically it's Bowen and Jack Harlow as bartenders that come to the table of these two couples having dinner.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a thing now where bartenders come to your table and make the drinks in front of you. I guess like Benihana
Is it?
style.
Okay.
I
I don't know.
guess.
I mean,
And yeah,
you're eating out. Must be nice.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, ooh, fancy people. They don't order their food through the drive-through. They go in a restaurant.
Okay.
La
All
da
right.
da. I guess this is a thing in fancy pants New York. Where
I guess so. I guess so. And you're making that SNL money.
you know, and
And yeah, and they're trying to do like the fancy cocktail moves, but none of the liquid is making it in the glasses, and they're breaking stuff. And
yeah,
but they're real cocky, and they do dances to. What was the song? What was the song they were dancing to?
I genuinely have no idea.
Okay.
I thought it was like some generic, TikTok hip hop pop song, but
Yeah,
I think it was an
I
actual.
thought you might know.
No,
I was just wondering.
I'm not that hip.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, you're hipper than me, so I thought you
Ooh.
might have a clue, but nope.
Nope, not at all.
All right. Yeah,
Uh,
not really funny.
yeah, it's the premise was pretty thin on this one, and like the fact that you didn't understand what was going on, I think says quite a bit. Because it was the same thing where like I was trying to follow it, and it's like, all right, so they're making these two inept bartenders making drinks for this couple, and they're doing all these dance moves, gyrations, and
Yeah,
then
I mean, I get it. I just didn't. I just thought it was a whole lot of nothing, really.
yeah, and then I think at the end it's revealed that the bartenders actually served this particular couples before, and like the couple didn't like the drinks they served last time, which lit a fire under them. So they wanted to come back and prove that they've improved as bartenders, but they haven't. The end.
Yeah, I think my attention kind of wandered by that point. I don't really remember that.
Yeah, I mean, usually I like Bowen. I like he can
Yeah,
usually save a sketch, but yeah, this one was like, it's a very thin premise, and it all kind of hinges on like the dance moves and them
Yeah.
throwing drinks everywhere and smashing glasses, and I was like, yeah, this
Yeah.
needs more. This needs more.
It's yeah. It just
I didn't write much about this. I just
yeah, me neither. Me neither. I wrote bartenders, restaurant, Bowen and Jack Harlow as waiters. Had no other notes.
the end.
The end. And the whole rest of it I was just kind of like, what?
Pretty much, as it was a kind of a sloppy sketch and not too
Yeah. In
much
every sense
there.
of the word. A lot of spilled drinks, a lot of
Yeah.
broken glass.
Yes. Broken glass everywhere. And
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't there wasn't much to talk about with this sketch. It was definitely kind of
Nope.
all right,
Nope.
next. Yeah.
Next, we had our host musical guest Jack Harlow doing his Jack Harlow stuff, and he did two numbers. First, he did Little Secret in First Class, and then he did State Fair,
Yeah, these were definitely
and
performances. He
he
was
definitely performed for approximately 4 minutes each time,
music
and
music was played.
music was played. The second time, he had sort of a disco thing going on with a light up floor and a white suit, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
He did a little
I don't really like his music. What I can't really say much more than that.
yeah, they're pretty forgettable. I
Yeah.
think like the second one, State Fair, he did like some weird, awkward kind of dance. I think the
Mhm.
fact he was just so low energy throughout
Yeah.
all of this. Like he needed to wake up or something. Like
Yeah. I just don't get it. The Jack Harlow train has left me at the station.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, like I feel like especially the second performance at State Fair, like I mean, I guess that was like a slower song, so he's supposed to be a little bit more low key. But at one point, I remember,
well, mission accomplished.
yeah, that's his lane. But I think at one point he was like, "Yo, SNL, where you at? Let me hear you." Like he was trying to get the energy up, but
Yeah.
without actually like doing anything performative to get the
If
energy up.
yeah, if you're gonna do that, you need to be giving us a banger.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I couldn't hum either one of these
yeah. Like I mean, well, one
if
of
you
'em-
put a gun to my head.
yeah. I mean, the one First Class they sampled that Fergie song, I believe "Glamorous," so that has like a
Oh,
more memorable thing to it.
okay.
But
I can't say I noticed that. So
yeah, yeah, he sampled Fergie. But yeah, for the most part, he seems like he seems like he really wasn't that into his own music, which I don't understand as an artist.
well,
I,
hard agree.
yeah, he was just kind of like slowly dancing, like, oh, yeah, all right. I, yeah, both these performances I thought were pretty mid, as the kids say.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah. It just meh,
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 meh.
meh.
We are the nights that go meh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, weekend update
weekend update.
with Colin Jost,
Colin Jost, Michael Che.
Michael
You know the
Che,
deal. You know the deal.
Michael Che.
They're gonna come out. They're gonna make jokes about the news and
What?
stuff.
Oh wow,
Yep.
different.
They're
Uh,
gonna talk about some news stories that happened in the week. Uh,
uh,
they hit on the debate between Dr. Oz and his opponent Fetterman, and they made some jokes about Fetterman's recent stroke, which I don't think that's a good look. You know?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that made me feel a little like, ooh.
yeah. Like I'm all for edgy jokes, but like sometimes it feels like that felt like more of like a low blow
It
type
really
of
did. It
show.
really did. And I didn't feel like it was really funny enough to justify
Yeah,
going there.
absolutely.
You know, like if you have a look, if you have a great, brilliant joke that relies on making fun of him for having a stroke, I mean, it needs to be a killer joke.
Absolutely.
And this, I just thought was kind of weak tea, and I was just like,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
you're going there, and it was just not a great look.
yeah. But I mean, Che did have some stronger jokes. Like he was talking about the Ruth Bader Ginsburg stamp and how
Hmm.
Clarence Thomas also had the stamp where on the front it says "Flip me over and start licking."
Yep. And then complete with a graphic. I think that worked. There was one joke. Again, this is kind of a low blow, but God help me, I laughed. He talked about how there was a hijacked bus that immediately ran into a post, and he says, "Okay, so we know the driver was a woman,"
Ooh,
and it was so unexpected. I laughed.
yeah.
I'm not really proud that I laughed, but God damn it, it was funny. I
Yes.
mean,
Like, yeah, we here at the SNL Nerds, we love women. You're all fantastic, but that wasn't.
well, most of you,
Oh boy. All right.
Sheila, you know what you did. Um,
Oh boy. Yikes. The gauntlet has been thrown, Sheila. Swipe right on my boy next time.
I'm just saying, Sheila, you know what you did.
Oh boy.
Um, I don't even know a Sheila.
Oh
It's
Sheila.
just a random name that I pulled out of nowhere.
It's a funny name.
So, so,
I mean, I like that one joke Colin had where he's talking about all the companies that won't work with Kanye anymore. And
uh-huh.
then he's talking about how it seems like other companies are just kind of piling on it, like, oh, just to have that clout, like Dippin' Dots won't work with Kanye anymore. TCBY won't work with Kanye
Yeah,
anymore.
that was kind of weird because like Colin played it like he was coming up with random company names off the top of his head, but
Yeah, yeah,
obviously he wasn't because they had graphics.
yeah.
So I don't know. It was I don't the way it was played. It would just seem weird to me.
It seemed like more off the cuff than it actually was,
Yeah,
which I did. Yeah, that did kind of throw me for a bit. It was like, oh, all right. And like
yeah.
when he's talking about TCBY, they were talking about how they would no longer hold their new ice cream flavor, Watch the Cone, and their flavor Nougats and Pretzels. Which, if you know about Watch the Throne and the song Kanye did with Jay-Z, N words in Paris, that's a
Which I
funny.
do not.
Oh, okay. Well, if you know that,
I
then
would just like to make that clear.
okay.
So yeah, the nougats and pretzels was totally lost on me.
That joke was for all the Watch the Throne fans.
Okay.
Like, yeah, but I thought that wasn't bad. I was like, oh, okay, nougats and pretzels. I see what you did there.
Hmm.
And
I did not see what you
okay,
did there. So
uh,
50% success rate, guys.
great success. And
And then towards the end, we had a bit of a surprise.
this I did not see coming at all.
I did not expect this. I did not see it coming. We had Mr. Bobby Moynihan, former cast member, formerly of Mr. Mayor with Mr. Ted Danson, uh, comes back as drunk uncle.
Woo!
Woo!
What a shocker!
That's it's always amazing. Like whenever an old cast member comes back, uh, and they bring back one of their characters, even if it wasn't like a super beloved character. And I don't feel like Drunk Uncle really like broke through to that
Um,
next. I mean, he wasn't. I think he was well regarded, but I don't feel like he was. It wasn't like a Stefan.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Stefan was like he took off like a rocket ship.
Stefan was like a phenomenon, and I feel like Drunk Uncle, he was a good, reliable character, but people are just always so thrilled to see one of the old things
Yeah,
that they just go nuts. So they were just so happy to see Bobby Moynihan. They're so happy to see Drunk Uncle, and
yeah,
that was fun to see.
yeah. And I mean, I've always said Bobby Moynihan is, he's one of those underrated SNL cast member who's like he during his tenure on the show he was always on. He was just there. He was like always
Mhm.
on time. Like he knew his stuff. He always
He was punctual. He was
he
a
was
very
punctual.
punctual cast member.
He was never tardy. No, I mean he
He
was.
had a perfect attendance record.
I don't feel tardy, but got it made. Okay, but
See,
yeah,
that I got. That
there
I
you
got.
go. See, now you get
Kanye, whoosh, over my head.
it.
1984 Van Halen, yes, I am there with you.
I brought my pencil.
Get in, Waldo.
Oh God. Oh,
Okay, quick aside. One of my favorite things ever. You remember Pop Up Video, right?
of
The show on
course.
VH1 where they did the little info graphic things during that video. One time they did Van Halen's "Hot for Teacher," and if you haven't seen the video, it's basically like a bunch of 12-year-old kids and their school becomes a strip club, and all the teachers like strip down to bikinis or whatever. I think. and they had a little infographic that said like they had parents or supervisors with them to make sure that the children weren't exploited. And then they have one of the women coming out in a bikini, and it just says, "No one was there to make sure the women weren't exploited." Tip of the hat, pop up video.
mm,
Tip of the hat.
I love
Very funny. I
love.
miss that show. They should bring that show back. I would watch that show.
I would love. I was a huge fan of Pop Up Video, and I really wish they would bring it back. Like,
You can't even find many of them on YouTube. Every once in a while, I get the urge. I'm like, I want to see the pop up video on Weezer's "The Sweater" song, and nope.
oh, damn it! Maybe they're on DVD or something, or
I don't know. There
yeah,
should be more of a presence of pop up video out there in the internets somewhere.
right. Listeners, everybody knows we can find copies of Pop Up Video. Let us know.
Let us know. I miss that show.
Yeah, we'll pay you handsomely.
Yeah, it was the cinema sins of its time.
Ooh, Cinema Sins, nice deep cut.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah,
Anyway, so Bobby Woodham back as Drunk Uncle talking about Halloween.
yes, but yeah, I always thought he was super underrated, and he always delivered. That's what I
Yeah,
was trying to say. So like to see
yes,
him come back,
and punctual.
yes, and punctual, never tardy, and
Yep.
so to see him come back and deliver, it just felt like a warm blanket. I was like, ah, Bobby, I
Yeah,
love you. This is great.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got a
The
kick out of
comfort
it.
of the familiar.
Yeah. Like there were, of course, it's just Drunk Uncle's just basically Bobby hamming it up, just
Hmm.
saying random things, like
Yeah.
Tom was too good for Giselle. Um,
Yes. I liked at one point he like dozed off and then he sort of wakes up and he just goes, "I was in on January 6th."
yeah,
Um,
I like that one.
that was very funny.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that one point where he literally just grabs Colin by the jack and is like, "The whole country's falling apart, Colin." Like he just
Yeah.
grabbed him
Yeah.
and pulls him in. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was funny at one point he does call Colin Seth, which I thought was
Oh God, did he really? I
yeah.
think I missed that. That's
Like
very funny.
I think the audience caught it and they like I don't know if he did it like in character as Drunk Uncle or he did it like mistakenly calling
Just
him.
muscle memory.
Yeah, because like when he calls him Seth, the audience laughs out loud, and then he says, "Why? What happened? What I do?" So I
Yeah.
don't know if he did that on purpose or with an accident. Either
I
way,
wonder. I wonder if that was something in rehearsal, or if he just sprung it on for the night of the performance, just to take Colin by surprise.
oh yeah.
That's
Either
that's
way,
funny.
calling
Yeah.
Colin Seth, hilarious.
Hilarious, hilarious. I also liked him saying Black Adams matter. I
They,
mean, it's about time somebody said it.
it's right. They do. He does.
He
Exactly.
does. Have you seen that movie?
I have not. I've
I'm basically waiting for it to hit HBO Max.
yeah, Sam. I've heard from people saying it's okay. It's pretty paint by numbers. They're not
Yeah.
really reinventing the wheel. It's meh. And I also like kind of had the ending spoiled for me. I heard the big tease at the post.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I heard all about that
Yeah, so
without
like
even trying. So
yeah, and like I saw the trailers. The trailers didn't wow me, so I'm like, yeah, maybe
yeah,
I'll hold
yeah,
off on that.
yeah.
So meh.
I'll check it out eventually.
Yeah, and listeners, we'll let you know what we think when it comes out on HBO Max.
Yeah, that's our plan.
Yeah.
That's our plan.
But yeah, overall, not a bad weekend update. Had some solid jokes in there,
Yeah.
some not great jokes, and I mean, my God, it's always fun to see Bobby Moynihan come back and
It
do
was
his
it
thing.
was fun to see Bobby Moynihan come back. That was a pleasant surprise. And then, like during the commercial break, they did that thing where they show the little flash of the next set, and then I was like, "Oh shit! I think they're doing a David S. Pumpkin sketch." Because
Mmm.
I saw that set and it was like the right configuration for we had the elevator doors, we had like a car that people could sit in. I was like, this is looking very David S. Pumpkins because it's kind of a Halloween motif. And I was like, wait, Tom Hanks is in the building, Bobby Moynihan's in the building. We are definitely getting a David S. Pumpkin sketch.
See. I watched this on Peacock, and like
Uh
I
huh.
don't think Peacock has those little.
Yeah, they didn't show that little bit. I watched it live last night, baby.
Yeah,
And so
nice.
yeah, I
But
got that. I figured it out like a full minute before it happened.
yeah, so like when I saw it, they
So
had the exterior shot of the ride, the Halloween ride,
yeah,
and then that's when it clicked for me. It's like, wait a minute,
right.
Tom Hanks is in the building, Mikey Day's in the building.
Yep.
Bobby's in the building. Yeah,
Bobby's in the building.
it's going down. It's going down.
It's going down. Shit is going down after 6 years. We are doing the David S. Pumpkins again.
And
Um,
sure enough, we get
and
the
it was fine. It was basically just the same sketch again.
uh
Uh,
yeah, like I actually went back and watched the first cuz and this is
so did I. It
and
is like beat for beat the same sketch, man.
yeah, and that's another thing that I'm still marveled by. This is only the second time they've done this sketch. Yet
Right.
like this David S. Pumpkin character is like so beloved. Like it's really weird how it just immediately took off like after just one airing, after one
Yeah,
sketch.
it was. Yeah, this I still don't entirely get the whole David S. Pumpkins phenomenon because I thought it was fine for what it was, but I don't think it's the end all be all sketch. I don't know even know if I thought it was the funniest sketch of that night when they did it the first time.
I mean it's certainly the most memorable and the most memeable of the
It
night.
is memorable, and I mean, but yeah, it became a thing to the point that they did an animated special, which I still think is just so weird.
It's like this sketch aired once. And it's getting a
It
cartoon.
aired once, and it is. And I tweeted this from the SNL Nerds account a little while ago. It's basically a rewrite of the FBI training sketch with Larry David as Kevin Roberts.
It really is. But
I went back and rewatched that. That is more or less the same sketch. He's even in an orange suit. He even dances a bit. It is the same sketch, and nobody remembers Kevin Roberts, but
mm,
everybody went apeshit for David S. Pumpkins, and I still don't entirely get
this is Kevin Roberts' erasure.
it. It's yeah. I want Kevin Roberts to get the credit that he is due. Um,
Justice for Kevin Roberts.
Justice justice for Kevin
That's
Roberts.
right.
I
Uh
did like the line where of course the guests they're questioning why David S. Pumpkins is there, and I like how Keenan just goes, "Well, we spent a lot of money on Pennywise and Freddy Krueger, and so we had to make up that shortfall somewhere." I like that this time we had more of a justification for David S. Pumpkins.
yeah, that made more sense. We learned more about him, like how he's from Ibiza, which is
Yeah,
it's kind of random. And then
yeah,
instead of any questions, he says "preguntas," which was a nice little
yeah.
change.
Um,
But yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it was fine. Tom Hanks and the guys played it well.
yeah.
You know, doesn't it? You know what? Like watching this again, I was like, doesn't it seem like Bobby Moynihan and Mikey Day should have been in different casts? It's weird to me to think that they had an overlap because
Oh,
in my head they seem like two different eras of the show. You know?
yeah. I see what you mean. Like I'd forgotten that the two of them were on the show at the same time before. Yeah, and I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
you don't really think of them working together, but obviously they did because they were both in David S. Pumpkins. But
Yeah, yeah. It does feel like they were both of different eras. So, but I guess
yeah,
the way it worked out is they just overlapped. I mean, Kate McKinnon was there. She was in the original sketch. So,
she was in the original. Yeah, Beck Bennett was in it.
uh,
Leslie Jones is in it.
Kyle and a
Yeah,
few other folks I'm forgetting on right now. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, I think Vanessa Bayer was in the original too.
Vanessa Bayer is in the original, so
She
that's going back a little ways because
that's
it
a
seems like she left the show a while back.
yeah, that
But
surprised me too. I was like, oh, Vanessa was still there, huh?
yeah, again, seems like she should be a different era, but
No,
it's such a the transitions being what they are. It's but I'm just like, wow, it seemed like Bobby Moynihan should have been on the show like 10 years before Mikey Day, and I can't remember how long Bobby was actually on the show, but I guess it was the tail end of Bobby's tenure and towards the beginning of Mikey's. But
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, overall, I thought the sketch was okay. I think it leans pretty heavily on nostalgia. Like I think
yeah,
as soon as the people saw David S. Pumpkins and the two skeletons, like there was thunderous applause. Like it was
hmm
like Prince
yeah.
came into the room or something. It was pretty bonkers.
Yeah, people are thrilled. And by the way, I could totally see Prince wearing the David S. Pumpkins suit.
Yes, I'm David S. Pumpkins.
I could totally see that. And now I want Fred Armisen to come back so he can wear the David S. Pumpkins suit as Prince.
Oh,
Um,
that's a dream.
but yeah, I mean,
All right, so Bobby
I,
Moynihan was on the show from 2008
Hmm.
to 2017.
Okay. Well, that's a good long time.
Good long
Sheesh.
time. Yeah,
9 years.
I
Wow.
I didn't even realize that till now. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And Mikey's been on the show, well, at least 6 years, I know.
Yeah, I think it's closing on 7.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, you know what? Another weird thing, because of this, I went back like you. I went back and I looked at the original David S. Pumpkin sketch,
Okay.
and that's still on SNL's YouTube account, of course. And it says that that's from 6 years ago. And then I looked at the Kevin Roberts sketch, and YouTube says that's from 5 years ago. But the the Kevin Roberts sketch aired February 6th, 2016, and then David S. Pumpkins ran that uh, October 22nd, 2016.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like now there's a conspiracy afoot to make it look like David S. Pumpkins preceded Kevin Roberts, and I will not have it.
This
I will
is
not have this rewriting of history, SNL.
this is Kevin Roberts' erasure. This goes all the way to the top.
It is Kevin Roberts' erasure, and it is not right.
Like, listeners, if you're listening right now, and you don't hear this episode. It's just know it's because we're being silenced by I don't want to say Lorne, but somebody doesn't want you people
By
to
Big
know.
David S. Pumpkins.
Yes, some people doesn't
Yeah,
don't some people don't want you to know about Kevin Roberts and how he's being erased from history.
right.
You think
Yeah,
about
the
that.
truth is out there. Darren and I, we are Kevin Roberts truthers.
That's right. Exactly. We're like the lone gunmen in X Files.
Yeah. We want to see David S. Pumpkin's long form birth certificate.
That's right. Where was
Hmm.
he born? I
Yeah.
mean, he says Ibiza. Is that
Yeah.
true? I don't know.
Is that true? Yeah, I don't know. But I bet his birth certificate just has the name Kevin Roberts scribbled out and then David S. Pumpkins hastily written in above.
This goes all the way to the top.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And
Anyway, so they did that sketch again.
yes. And so our final sketch, 10-1. We got the view happening here.
The View. This is it's weird to think The View has been on for so freaking long, but it's been on since like the late '90s, I think.
I remember them doing sketches of the view when like Tracy Morgan was in the cast. So
That's right. Yeah, Tracy Morgan was like
Star Jones.
not Star Jones. Yeah, I was like not Sherry Shepherd, the woman who was on before Sherry Shepherd. What was her? Yeah, Star Jones.
I am a
I
lawyer.
am a lawyer. Yeah, I remember that now.
That's how
Yeah,
long the
and
view has been
Terry
on.
O'Terry was Barbara Walters, and yeah, this is we've had a few generations of casts periodically come back to the View to do the View, and it is kind of a perennial thing now because the View has had a lot of cast turnover. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, this sketch, I was like, I wasn't wild about this sketch at all.
neither was I. Neither was I.
So it's basically, so we have Ego as Whoopi, we have Sarah Sherman as Joy Behar, and
And fun to see her as Joy Behar, and we have Chloe and Punky as the other two.
yeah, but they don't even get much to do in this sketch. And
Well,
then
they don't. I mean, I don't. I certainly didn't. Couldn't name either one of those women off the top of my head. So yeah, I think it was good choice for the sketch to
yeah,
de-emphasize that.
Woman 1 and Woman 2. And then
And Jack Harlow is playing himself, and he is just hitting on Whoopi Goldberg throughout.
yeah, and that's pretty much it. It's all like, "Yo, Whoopi, you a legend. Yo, can we get together? What's good, ma?" It's all
Yeah,
it's all
and
that.
she's like, "No, I've been closed for business since I forget how long," she said, and he says, "Well, I'm looking forward to the grand reopening." Like I said, major douchey vibes.
Yeah, it's a lot of
The
that.
way they write him in the sketch, major douche,
I don't
because he's like
yeah.
creepy as hell.
Yeah, and like that's pretty much the sketch. Like then it cuts to Whoopi and Joy Behar kind of having a back and forth, kind of talking over each other, and then it just cuts to Jack trying to sleep with Whoopi Goldberg. Like, yo, what's good, Whoopi? Yo, let me get inside your dusty cave with my snake, or and shit like this.
Yeah,
And then
it's
Whoopi's
weird.
Whoopi saying no thanks. The only MC I need are my cats and my cigarettes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
I was like, oh,
I
that's
did. I don't know where this sketch was coming from. Is the joke that Jack Harlow's a major perv? Is it just the incongruity of him and Whoopi Goldberg hooking up?
yeah,
I
because I guess it's funny to try to hook up with old people, and I'm
I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
yeah, no, this sketch was. I was like, where is this going? What's the point of this?
Yeah.
This
What is
what is happening here?
what is sketch? I don't. Yeah.
What is
It's
sketch?
yeah. It's such a weird note to end the evening on.
Yeah, weak note, and it was just.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like the audience liked it because it seemed like the audience was filled with Jack Hollow, Harlow maniacs or Hollow actors.
Yeah. I mean, Michaela brought all her people. Sure,
Yeah,
obviously. So
exactly. So they were like, "Ooh, Jack Harlow's hitting on Whoopi. Ah, that's
it's
crazy."
still, yeah, it's still pretty. He says, "What do you want to say now with the entire world watching?" And she says, "Big Jack Harlow fan." So that's the thing she wants everyone to know.
Yeah, that was such an odd moment. It was just like,
Such an odd moment. I mean, I feel like she would have gone on and said something more substantial if he like kept the mic in her face. But like, why even do that?
yeah, like
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like talking to your fans, but like I'm sure like if your fans are kind of don't have much to say or don't know what to say, then you have to jump in with some funny
Yeah,
asides.
you got to bring the thunder.
Yeah, show some
Uh,
charisma, show some that you're quick witted, something like that, something
yeah.
to keep the momentum going and to lift the show up, like a host would do. And
Now it's coming out.
uh,
Now the venom's coming out.
yeah,
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting over an hour for this.
yeah, like
Now we're dishing the dirt. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, and like be like energetic, set the tone like a host,
Yes,
and he just
yes.
didn't.
Feel the hate inside you. Come to the dark side.
Yes, yes, the darkness is involved.
Yes, my precious.
But
Feel the hate flow through you.
oh god,
Feel the power of the dark side.
I'll never join the dark side.
All right, I'm cutting off your hand now.
Oh boy.
Uh,
But yeah, I thought as yeah, the View sketch was a super weak sketch to end the show on.
yeah,
Um,
and like you said earlier, that you feel like this should have been earlier in the show, and the Joker sketch should have been like the 10-1.
yeah, I mean, just because the Joker sketch had way more 10-1 vibes, just because it was just way more.
And then it was more weird than funny.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like even though I probably would have felt the same way about it, I would have been like, all right, well, at least this feels like it belongs here.
I mean, yeah, they're both weak sketches, but yeah, Joker felt like it could have more comfortably lived there.
The Joker,
Not
get it?
the chalkboard, man.
Because
No.
they say Joker funny. So
Yeah.
that's enough to base an entire sketch on, John.
So, um, overall, what are your thoughts? I feel like there were some decent things there. I feel like the pre tapes were okay.
Hmm.
I think AA meeting was pretty good.
Yeah, I do.
And look, I will say Jack Harlow threw that line, oh, I drank recently, by the way. And then we see Bowen do a little double take, like, wait, what? What?
Yeah, I kind of wish
Let's get back to that.
yeah, I kind of wish they
Yeah.
did more of that. Like they set that sketch at an AA meeting. So like
Yeah.
maybe like come back to that a little bit. Like you said it in an AA meeting for a reason, maybe. So just
It would have been nice to see Bowen try to get the meeting back on track. That might have given the sketch a little more but I feel like it was a good sketch as it was. So I feel like there was some good stuff. I feel like the rest wasn't that great,
yeah.
and I feel like Jack Harlow was a weak host.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like as a host, he had his moments, but yeah, but just
Moment. Let's be real.
moment.
Moment. He had moment.
I was trying to be nice, but yeah,
Yeah.
he
I mean, can you name a second?
uh no.
He hit on Whoopi Goldberg and on Sicily in the promo, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
And maybe Michaela after the show. I bet he tried to hook up with Michaela after the show.
yeah. He tried to see what's up. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you a big fan of mine? Oh, yeah, that's chill. What's up?
Hey! You like how I approached you in the monologue?
Oh,
What's up?
maybe you like coming to the after party, girl. What's good?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, uh.
Let's get something cooking.
Yeah, what's really
Um,
good. But yeah, I felt the same way. Like he had that one moment, but not a moment a host make. So yeah, for the
no.
most part, I
Yeah.
thought he was a pretty weak host, and
Hmm.
the show overall was yeah pretty middling, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. Middling at best. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so far, I still think the Brendan Gleeson episode was probably the best.
yeah, I
Um,
think definitely the best.
Miles Teller the worst. So this episode is like kind of right in the middle. I mean, maybe slightly better than Megan Thee Stallion, but I'd have to watch Megan Thee Stallion again to really know. But I would say it's around that
I
range.
wouldn't subject you to that.
Oh,
No.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, those are our thoughts. So let's set up our Twitter account, see what our fans thought.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, the great unwashed public? Uh, that seems insulting. Why did I go there? I don't
Yeah.
know.
What's up with that, man?
I don't know.
What up with
I don't
that?
know.
Ooh wee.
I don't know. I'm waiting for Twitter to come up on my screen, and it's taken a while, so I
Okay.
needed something to fill the time.
All right. Well, I got up.
So anyway, Mikey, our friend Mikey says, "Wow, much like the movie Apollo 13, this episode starred Tom Hanks and made a successful return, but only after dumping a load of unwanted garbage."
That is brilliant.
I love it. I love it. Wonderful metaphor, Mikey. Um, Seriously, though, a great episode. Well, then you lost me.
Mm. You had me,
My
then you lost
favorite,
me.
my favorite in a long while. And he spells favorite as like a British person.
Oh,
Is Mikey in the UK? What the
maybe.
hell?
I think so.
What the hell? What's going on there? Okay,
Marky,
my
you
favorite in a long while. Co was decent. Please, what is Co?
cold open.
Oh, Cold Open was decent. Pleased to see Cecily back. Says monologue was good, and most of the sketches had some solid laughs for me. Weekend Update was strong as always. Only ones I thought fell a little flat were the bartenders, agreed, and David Pumpkins, but still better than some of the stuff we've seen recently. Shout out to Jack Harlow, who did well too.
Okay.
You definitely liked it a lot more than I did, and I think more than Darren did as
Yeah, I
well.
mean,
So
I thought it was all right, but yeah, it's definitely
yeah,
not as
I'd say for me the big highlight is we got Cecily back in the cast on a regular basis, and
here
that's
here.
always fun. And I feel like the show really missed her because she was all over the place in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a sketch she wasn't in.
Uh, maybe The View. I don't think he was in that.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Uh-huh.
There was one sketch she wasn't in.
I've debunked your theory, sir.
You did. You put me in my place.
Yeah. Oh, so we also got a tweet from Burtonesque92 saying
Mm.
apologizing in advance. Says sorry for the two-parter. I don't have many nice things to say about this one, but the headline for me is that this episode found a way to make me disappointed in Tom Hanks and Bobby Moynihan cameos. I
Wow.
I did love seeing them both. I totally enjoyed the return of Drunk Uncle, but the David S. Pumpkins rehash was disheartening from the moment it started. Besides feeling desperate after 6 years of leaving well enough alone, it seemed like a vote of little confidence in the host calling in a couple ringers I'd really rather have seen hosting.
Yeah. I'd say agreed. Yes, I feel like they kind of knew that Jack Harlow wasn't the strongest host, so I do feel like they called in some ringers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah, I
Tom
agree.
Tom Hanks,
And
Bobby Moynihan, Jeff Probst, get in here.
yeah, Jeff Probst. I'm still scratching my head over that.
That
That's just
was
like,
yeah, that was very random.
how random was that?
I don't know.
Next, our friend Boardman gets paid says, "Hello from floor 667. So this was a tale of two halves for me. The beginning was all right, but once the Pixar luggage sketch came, we took off. I'm not sure who this Cecily cast member is, but she really made an impact on her first show. I really appreciate how the new cast members are involved early. Also, Nuggets and Pretzels is my quotes of the season, and we got David S. Pumpkins crew reunion. Happy Halloween, y'all.
All right. Nice. Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
I feel like this new Cecily Strong cast member. I feel like she's going to go far.
This kid's got moxie. She's going places.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Manette Moratti, our good friend at Manette M97, saying exceeded expectations is the nicest thing I can say about this episode. Also, it was nice to see the cast work as an ensemble compared to discussions people have had about whether or not SNL is trying to find a new star of the show, especially with Cecily back. Yeah,
yeah,
I would say that. Yeah, and like as far as
yeah.
the new cast goes, there's no I don't think there's anybody that's really like trying to be like the breakout star. I don't think that is a good point.
Well, I mean, I think they're all trying to be
I
the
mean, they're all
breakout, but
trying
no,
to
I don't.
be,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's
I
not
don't
like,
think anybody's
yeah,
been a big breakout yet. I
yeah,
mean,
like no one's like Kate McKinnon did or Will Ferrell did, where they're
right.
like, oh, that person is trying to
Yeah,
be like the
I
lead
think
singer.
they're all acquitting themselves well, though, and yeah, it's nice to see. Um, like Molly did really well with her Dora the Explorer thing during the Halloween sketch.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was good. I feel like they're doing a decent job.
Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely.
oh, and just to backtrack a little bit to John Anias, yeah, it's totally cool if you make a two-part comment on
Yeah.
our tweets. We like lots of comments. We like lots of feedback. We like discussion. So
Yeah.
yeah, please tell us what you think.
No apologies needed.
Exactly. And then let's see, Leslie from SNL Lytics, SNL Social Media Analytics, uh, said I didn't care much for that sketch. Oh, they're commenting on the GIF that you used on Twitter from the bartender sketch.
Yes.
You used a GIF of Bowen and Jack Harlow dancing around, doing a lot of pelvic thrusts. So they say. I didn't care much for that sketch, but seeing how good that GIF is makes me wonder how often they write subpart sketches just to have memeable gifs like this that play well out of context.
I,
Um,
I think there's a very good chance that they do that.
that's an out there theory. That's
Uh,
doing a sketch that doesn't do well, intentionally writing a subpar sketch just so that they have a memeable gif.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Um,
I don't know if they go out their way to make it subpar, but I do
yeah,
feel like because they know this new generation is all about gifs and memes, and that's
uh-huh.
how they sort of ingest media now. So I do feel
That seems like putting the cart before the horse to me, but maybe.
maybe I do feel like they put in a few things here and there. It's like, oh, this will make a great GIF that'll go
Yeah,
viral. Like I don't. Part of me does feel that like they do. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they don't do. Maybe they do it consciously, but that is in their mind when they write a sketch. I can't prove it. It's just a
yeah.
gut
What
feeling. But
you know? What honestly amazes me because like you're the one who always does the tweet right after the show saying like, well, hey, that's the episode, and it amazes me you're always able to get a GIF of from the show that we just watched, like within 15 minutes after the show ending. That's amazing to me.
yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I think that because like if you go, I always get the gifts from Giphy.com, and
Uh
like
huh.
every time I'm on their website while the show is going on, they put up gifs on that site like as the show is going on. Like when a sketch is over, like literally 3 minutes after that sketch is done, you'll see gifs of it online.
That's amazing to me that somebody every week is watching the show and making gifs
Yeah,
out of it.
so somebody.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty amazing. So, well, next week we have a returning host. We have Amy Schumer coming back to be the host for the third time, apparently. She's hosted before in 2015 and 2018 and made the odd cameo outside of that. And musical guest Steve Lacy.
Yeah,
So, yeah, Amy Schumer's having a bit of a comeback, it feels like.
she is. I mean, I know she's going back out on tour. I know she
Uh
had
huh.
that show on Hulu, Life After Beth, and I know her show Inside Amy Schumer is coming back, or it's already back on Paramount Plus. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting. That was unexpected news.
yeah,
Yeah, her show Inside Amy Schumer ran for I believe 4 seasons on Comedy Central, and I watched that back in the day. I did get a little sick of her by the end. It was
mhm. I think,
Like I somewhere in her thing, it's like it seemed like most of her material pivoted to how tough it was to be Amy Schumer.
yeah, it was weird because when she came out, she kind of exploded onto the scene, and
Uh huh.
it was like one of those things where you kind of saw her everywhere. She was like
Yeah.
constantly doing shows, and she was like the it girl for a while.
Yeah. She was like buddy buddy with Jennifer Lawrence and partying with her and stuff.
Yeah,
And
and then she got her own movie with Apatow and Bill Hader,
yeah,
and like
we should do Trainwreck sometime soon.
yeah, no,
Maybe we should do Trainwreck in a few weeks or
yeah,
sometime soonish.
yeah, no, I'll put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
And
Thanks, Steve Rogers.
yeah, and it seemed like she was just kind of everywhere. But then there was a thing where people if kind of got sick of her, and people were like, yeah,
Yeah,
fuck Amy Schumer, and like it,
yeah. I definitely had a little of that. Yeah,
yeah, and then so then I think for a while she got married, had a kid, she kind of laid low for a while, and
yeah, yeah. And now we're kind of back to Amy Schumer.
now we're back, baby.
Yeah. So I can't really say I'm excited about this because honestly, I didn't really stop getting sick of her. But we'll see. I'll try to keep an open mind.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw online, it seems like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Amy Schumer, I guess." Like it doesn't seem like
Yeah,
too many people are clamoring for her. You don't see too many people like, "Awesome, Amy Schumer's hosting, rad." Like it's more like people being
yeah.
like, "Okay,"
I'm just
but
like,
yeah,
yeah,
but I mean, it is interesting. Like, I mean, the fact that she's also hosted the show twice before, that's good. So it'll be a return host. So not bad.
yeah, yeah.
And
I don't know. None of the hosts so far this season have really gotten me like, oh yes, oh I can't wait to see what they do.
yeah, agreed.
I mean, Brendan Gleeson was a very pleasant surprise, but other than that, I'm just like, yeah. So
yeah, yeah. I'll have to admit,
I'm still not. I'm not super jazzed about the new season yet, which is kind of a drag.
yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's a bummer. Like, because a couple of episodes ago that we recorded, I was expecting, oh, this is the new season. This is like a fresh take, hot new start. It's gonna be new cast members.
Hmm.
A lot of cast members left. This is new opening. This is a new day, new tomorrow, and it seems like it's not. The rocket ship isn't taking off
Yeah,
as
we're
quickly.
still kind of ramping up.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, but
so yeah, I hope they get into a groove sometime soonish. That would be
no,
nice.
that would be
You know,
nice.
because you want to see them kill,
Yeah, I would love to see
not
it.
not actually commit murders, but kill in comedy sketches.
I want to see them commit homicide.
Yeah,
But
I mean, okay, maybe some of them.
yeah. But yeah, like it's a thing where yeah, I'm not the past few hosts I haven't been too jazzed about this Amy
Yeah,
Schumer, Steve Lacy, I don't know anything about. I just know he's like an R&B singer. I'm not familiar with
yeah,
his work, so it's one of those. All right, I'll
yeah.
go in with an open mind, but I'm
I,
not.
I I kind of I'm now at the point where I just expect to not know who the musical guest is. I'm just like I'm 50. I'm not supposed to know who any of these people are.
I'm 50.
When Paul Simon or David Byrne comes by, then I'll be like, okay, now I know who these folks are.
Yeah,
But
now we're cooking. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Amy Schumer's hosted before, so she knows the drill. So that's something. Well, at least we'll have an.
she knows the layout of the studio.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time. This is the first time this season we're gonna have an experienced host. So that's something.
That's true. Yeah, first returning host of the season. Yeah,
So
you know,
we'll see what happens. I'm going in
we'll
optimistic.
see what happens. So,
Indeed, absolutely. And that's our episode, guys. Thanks for listening as always. Thanks for supporting us and doing
mhm.
everything you do, spreading the word. As always,
Spreading the word, commenting, and all that good stuff. Yeah, we want some more of that. Yeah, please,
yeah,
give us a follow on the social media. Where you can find us at SNL Nerd Show on the Twitter sphere.
yeah. As always, you can find us at non-productive.com. All our shows. Donate to our Patreon if you're so inclined. And
helps us keep the lights on.
And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL and the word comic. So
absolutely. And
go do that.
And yeah, join us next week. Amy Schumer, Steve Lacy. It should be a show. It should be a real show.
It should be a show. It should be about an hour and a half. Should be airing, I think, on Saturday Night Live. And this is interesting. Episode next week is going to be live.
Switching things up.
So that's something new for the show.
Wow. Hope they pull it off.
So check that out. I mean, they're going to have to just redo their whole infrastructure to accommodate a live broadcast, but I have confidence that they can do it.
Yeah, this is unheard of.
So we'll see what they do. We'll see you next week when we're talking about that show. But until then, Nerds out!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.